Hello and welcome to my yoga video, How to Progress in Sun Salutations. This Yoga for Beginners video is broken down into stages to help you modify your Sun Salutations depending on your flexibility and strength. Stage 1 is for complete beginners. So when you're ready, we'll start at the top of the mat so the big toes to touch and the little gap between the heels, lifting up the kneecaps to make the thighs nice and active. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, palms to touch, looking up at the thumbs. And we'll exhale, come into a forward fold. So depending on how your flexibility is, you may be slightly higher and your back might be rounded. So we'll bend the knees to release the stretch, and we'll take hold of the opposite elbow and rock from side to side. And the more you practice, the more the hamstrings will lengthen and the back will relax. So we'll swap to have the other arm on top. Keep breathing in and out through your nose. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale, release the arms, look up nice, flat back, resting the hands on the thighs. We'll exhale, bend the knees, lower the hands onto the floor, step your right leg back, lowering the knee down, and then step your left leg back into table pose. So we'll pause here for a moment, drawing the abdomen in and up, keeping the elbows in. We'll take a breath in, and as you exhale, use the strength of the arms to lower down onto the mat. Next breath in, we'll come into a low cobra, lifting the chest and chin off of the mat. Exhale, gently lower. Inhale, now push up onto the knees. So spread your fingers, feet the distance of your hips, and we'll inhale, lift the knees off of the ground into downward facing dog. So often our weight is forward, so gently encourage it towards the legs, and often our heels are lifted so we can bend the knees to really stretch around the shoulders and the upper back. And then walk out the legs to relax the back of the legs, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. To come out of this pose now, we'll inhale, start to gently walk the feet towards the hands, lifting the hands up as much as you need to. We'll take hold of the opposite elbows and gently rock from side to side. Having one final stretch, we'll bend the knees as you inhale, round the back, come all the way up to standing. Last thing is your head. Relax the shoulders a few times down the back before we do the other side. So now as you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, palms to touch, looking up, and exhale into your forward fold. But this time we'll rest the hands on the thighs, nice strong flat back, and we'll bend and straighten the legs to help release the stretch in the hamstrings, release the lower back. Well, inhale, look up, flat back, exhale, bend the knees, hands on the floor, left leg back this time, and then your right into table. Inhale, draw the abdomen in and up. As you exhale, gently lower all the way down to the floor using your strength of your arms. Inhale into a cobra and exhale, gently lower. Inhale, now come up into table, spreading your fingers, checking your feet are in the right position, draw your hips towards your heels, lift your knees off of the ground. And this time we'll raise and lower the heels to stretch the back of the calves, stretch the back of the legs in a different way. And now we'll inhale, start to walk the feet when you're ready towards the hands, lifting again the hands up as much as you need to, pausing for a moment, and then we'll inhale, bend the knees, round the back, come all the way up to standing. Last thing is the head, and then we'll roll the shoulders a few times down the back. So try and practice this routine a few times before going on to stage 2. So in stage 2, we'll be practicing stepping forward. So starting again at the top of the mat, the big toes to touch, little gap between the heels. On your next breath in, we'll raise the arms up overhead and exhale, come into a forward fold. So having the knees slightly bent to release the stretch in the hamstrings, and we can bend and straighten the legs, resting on the thighs to help release the stretch in the back of the legs. So on your next breath in, when you're ready, we'll look up with a nice flat back, exhale, bend the knees, hands on the floor, step the back of your right leg, and then your left into table. Inhale, exhale, draw the abdomen in, really slow down to really use the strength in the arms onto the mat, and then inhale into a low cobra, and exhale, gently lower. Inhale, push back up onto the knees, and tuck under the toes, draw the hips towards your heels, and lift your knees off of the mat to come into downward facing dog. We'll raise and lower the heels to stretch along the back of the legs. So keep checking that your hands are really spread and the feet are the distance of your hips. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So now to come out of this posture, we'll inhale, step your right foot forward, take hold of the back of the ankle and encourage it forward to wherever feels comfortable, and step the left foot forward. And then we'll inhale, bend the knees, come up to a flat back, and exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees round the back, come all the way up to standing. Last thing is your head. And as always, we'll relax the shoulders a few times down the back before we do the other side. So to do the other side, we'll step forward to the top of the mat if you're not there already. Next breath in, we'll sweep the arms up overhead and exhale into a forward fold. Bending the knees, rounding the back. We'll inhale and exhale through the nose, just having a nice stretch here. So on your next breath in, when you're ready, we'll look up with a nice flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, bring your hands onto the floor, step your left leg back, and then your right to table. Inhale, exhale, really going slowly to use the strength of the arms. And then inhale, come into a low cobra, and exhale, gently lower. Inhale, gently push up onto the knees, tuck under the toes, draw the hips towards the heels, and lift up the knees into a downward facing dog. So remembering, if your weight is over the hands, really push the chest towards the knees. So you can do this a few times to really stretch the whole of the body. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, bending the knees as much as you need to release the stretch in the back of the legs. Inhale, lift the left foot forward, taking hold of the back of the ankle. And then when you're ready, encourage it slightly a little bit forward, listening to your own body. Step forward with your right leg, bend your knees, inhale, come up to a flat spine, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend and straighten the knees a few times to encourage more of a stretch in the back of the body. And then to come up to standing, we'll inhale, bend the knees, round the back, come all the way out. Last thing is your head. Exhaling at the top, rotate the shoulders a few times to relax here. So again, practice this a few times before coming into stage 3. So stage 3 is to build strength. So starting as always in mountain pose, the big toes to touch, little gap between the heels. I'll inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, and exhale, come into your forward fold. So as always, you can bend and straighten the legs to release the hamstrings. You may start to notice the more you practice your Sun Salutation, the more your body feels more comfortable in each pose. So you can rock from side to side. And then we'll inhale, look up, nice flat back with the knees bent. Exhale, bring your hands onto your floor, step your right foot back, lowering the knee down. And then step back your left. We'll inhale, exhale, this time we'll lower halfway down using the strength of the arms, and then all the way down to the mat, untucking the toes. We'll inhale into a low cobra, and exhale onto the knees, and then into downward facing dog. So to change the stretch very slightly, this time you're going to rock the hips from side to side. So observe how this affects the body. Where do you feel the stretch? And then to stretch the back of the calves, you're going to raise and lower the heels when you're ready. So encouraging the heels towards the mat, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So now to come out of this pose, we'll inhale, raise the right leg up. We'll exhale, step the foot forward, encourage it with your hand towards the thumb, and then step the left foot forward. We'll inhale to a flat spine, and exhale, round the back into a forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, round the back, come all the way up to standing, exhaling at the top. And we'll come straight into the other side. So inhaling, raising the arms up, exhale into our forward fold. Inhale, look up. Flat back, and we'll bend and straighten the legs again. So by bending and straightening the legs, you're having to release the tension in the back of the legs. And then we'll step back with the left leg, and then lower the knee down, and then the right. Inhale, exhale, halfway lower, and then all the way down. Inhale into a cobra, and exhale, gently lower. Inhale, come onto the knees, and then make your way to downward facing dog. And we'll pause here for a few breaths, and you can raise and lower the heels, or you can bend one leg and the other, whatever feels comfortable to release the stretch in the back of the legs. So we'll inhale this time, Raise the left leg into the air, bend the knee, step the foot forward, encourage it with your hand if you need to, and then the right. We'll inhale to a flat spine, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees round the back, come all the way up to standing. Last thing is the head. Then we'll exhale, just pausing here. So again, practice this a few times before going on to the next stage. Stage 4 is introducing plank pose. So as always, starting in mountain pose, on your next breath in, we'll sweep the arms up overhead, palms to touch, looking up, and exhale into a forward fold. So again, we can bend and straighten the legs to release the hamstrings and release the stretch in the lower back. Nice slow breathing. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale, look up, nice flat back. Exhale, bring the hands onto the floor, step your right foot back, and then your left into plank pose. You want the shoulders above the wrists. Gently lower the knees down, and then gently lower all the way down onto the mat. Inhale into a cobra, and exhale back onto the knees and come back to downward facing dog. So normally you can pause here, but we'll go through it quicker today. We'll inhale, sweep the right foot up, step the foot forward, and then when you're ready, step the left. Inhale, look up, flat back, and exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees round the back, come all the way up to standing. Last thing is the head. Inhale, sweep the arms up. On exhale, come into a forward fold to do the same on the other side. So bending and straightening the legs. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale, look up, flat back. Exhale, hands onto the floor, left foot back, and then the right into plank. Lower the knees down, gently lower all the way onto the belly. Inhale into a cobra, and exhale back onto the knees to come back into downward facing dog. And pausing here. We can raise and lower the heels, nice slow breathing. So just coming into plank once is just strengthening the body. Inhale, lift the left leg up, step the foot forward, encourage it if you still need to with the heel, and then the right. Inhale to a flat spine, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees around the back, come all the way up to standing. Last thing to come up is your head, and we'll roll the shoulders a few times down the back. So stage 5 is lowering to the floor from plank pose. So starting at mountain pose at the top of your mat, we'll inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, palms at touch, looking up, and exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, look up, nice flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, hands onto the ground, step the right foot back and then the left into plank. Inhale, draw the abdomen in and up, and exhale, lower all the way down to the mat, keeping the elbows in. Inhale into a cobra, and exhale onto the knees, and then come to downward facing dog. Pausing here for a moment, having a nice stretch on the back of the legs. Now we'll inhale, raise the right leg up, exhale, step the foot forward, and then the left. Inhale to a flat spine, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, come all the way up, and exhale back into mountain to the other side. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, and exhale when you're ready into forward fold. Inhale, look up, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, step your left foot back, and then your right to plank. Inhale, exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale into a cobra, and exhale onto the knees and come up into downward facing dog. Just pause here for a moment. Nice slow breathing, rocking the hips from side to side. And then we'll inhale, lift the left leg up, step the foot forward, wiggling the foot forward if you need to, and then the right. Inhale to a flat spine, and exhale, bend your knees around the back, come all the way up, relaxing the shoulders down the back, and pausing here. So stage 6 is lowering to Chaturanga Dandasana, so only practicing this when you feel that you have enough arm strength. So at the top of your mat in mountain pose, when you're ready on your next breath in, we'll sweep the arms up overhead, palms to touch looking up, and exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, looking up, nice flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, sit your right foot back, and then your left straight to plank. Inhale, exhale, lower into Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale to downward facing dog. So checking of the position of your feet and your hands, will bend and straighten the legs, really encouraging the chest towards the knees. Nice slow breathing. To come out of this pose, we'll inhale, raise the right leg up, bend the knees, step the foot forward, and then the left. Inhale to a flat spine, and exhale to forward fold. Inhale, strong legs, bring your hands onto your hips, come all the way up to standing, exhaling at the top, and then we'll inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, and exhale, come back into our forward fold. Inhale, look up, flat back, exhale, bend the knee, left foot back, and then the right. Inhale, exhale to Chaturanga, inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale to downward facing dog. So nice slow breathing, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, bending and straightening the legs. And keep remembering to breathe. Now as you inhale, raise your left leg up, bend the knees, step the foot forward, and then the right. Inhale to a flat spine, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, strong legs, bring your flat back, bring your hands onto your hips, come all the way up to standing, exhaling at the top. And relax the shoulders down the back a few times. So always remember to listen to your own body, and always remember to thank yourself for dedicating time to your practice. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.